we always say on Crunch Time, the best things in life are free, except of course when it comes to wondering if we can just sub in gluten-free flour into a recipe that calls for regular flour. We're going to test it out in a bit of a cookie experimento.
How would we do that, Alice?
Well, these days a lot of people have intolerances and allergies, and gluten is one of those things that people can definitely be allergic to, including people who definitely shouldn't be eating it, those who have celiac disease. Have you heard of that one, Nick?
I hadn't actually before, but I just had a look into it, and celiac disease is a disorder which attacks the small intestine in the immune system. So people that do have celiac disease, often they will get things like a sore stomach and sore tummy.
Absolutely, and it's definitely something that you want to be sensitive about because a lot of your friends might find themselves in that position. So when you're baking cookies for them, you want to know what you can do. In this batch, we've got some regular flour, so I'm going to get you onto that job. There we go. Bella, do you want to pop the regular flour in there and start stirring it into our cookie batter? Over here, we've already got the butter and we've got some chocolate chip cookies and some sugar. Now, this is just the plain flour in here, and that's going to create the cookies. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue food colouring. We're going to use the food colouring to denote our cases. This is the control batch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 drops of that blue food colouring. Wonderful. Bella, do you make lots of cookies at home?
Yeah, I do often, yeah.
Yeah, you seem like a cookie baking pro. Meanwhile...
I would have said a cookie monster. What kind of flour do you use at home?
To be honest, I have no idea.
Just whatever flour's in the pantry.
Yeah.
Chances are that means it's probably a plain flour, but it's always good to have a try of something that's an alternative and see what happens. Over here we've got some gluten-free flour. Some typical gluten-free flours would be things like buckwheat or millet or say even coconut flour. Pop some of the gluten-free flour in there and mix that together. Wonderful. And then we're going to add the same amount of drops in here of yellow food colouring. Keep mixing that together.
Elise, do you make many cookies?
Yes, I do, with my dad and sometimes my mum.
Oh, nice. What's your favourite type of cookie? Do you have one?
Just chocolate chip.
Just the best one going
Just the
around?
best one.
Nice.
Well, these chocolate chip cookies are really delicious, so that's the first batch ready to go. But some are going to hold their shape a little bit better than others. We'll see what happens. Now, Bella, why don't you scoop 3 little tablespoons of cookie batter on just that side. Excellent. Scoop it on. Let's use another teaspoon to grab some of that batter off. Good work. That looks like it's ready to go there as well,
I'd
Elise.
say so. Elise, can you show me that trick again with the spoon on the nose?
Maybe not with this.
Maybe
Not with that one? Okay.
Now, Elise, can you show me that trick of mixing those ingredients together with the next batch?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
And what type of flour have we got here?
Now, all of the other 3, the green, the red and the yellow, are gluten-free flour, but I'm going to add an extra ingredient into 2 of the batches and see what happens, whether it changes the way that they behave in the oven. Now, why don't we grab over that last batch with the red and we can start... Oh, actually, you know what? Why don't you start scooping the yellow onto there?
It's like peanut butter.
It looks a lot like peanut butter. Chocolate chip peanut butter. This actually sounds delicious. All right. Now, there we go. Now, into this yellow batch, we're not adding anything at all. We're just keeping it as the gluten-free flour to see if we can just sub one for the other.
A straight swap.
A straight swap. See what happens there. Now, into the green batch, thank you kindly, we are going to add something called xanthan gum. Now, this is a fermented corn product, and this behaves, instead of gluten, like a bond. It'll keep the flour together, and as the butter melts with the heat in the oven, it's going to keep it from separating out. But I don't want to give it all away. I want you to see what happens. Now, so let's pop that inside and start stirring. Ooh. Excellent. And Nick, I might get you to start mixing that last cookie batch as well.
Sure.
There's a strong smell to it.
There definitely is. What does it smell like?
Xanthan gum, I think. What do you think it smells like?
It smells like salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, yeah, well, it definitely has quite a smell to it. It's quite funky. You definitely do need to add something. Ooh, have I given it away? I don't want to. Okay, Nick, mix it together. It's a bit of a science experiment, so we don't want to give all the secrets away just yet.
Okay, I think
That's wonderful.
really
Okay,
good.
now, Nick, I'm going to give you this ingredient. Elise, do you want to give that a whiff? What do you think that is?
It smells exactly the same as the other one.
Well done. It is exactly the same. It's xanthan gum, but it's double the batch.
Ooh.
We'll see what happens, because the thing when you're subbing things in or changing ingredients is that you definitely want to make sure that you're putting the right amount of measurement in.
Are you sure it's only double?
Okay, one last cookie going in with the single batch of xanthan. And often when you're baking with gluten-free products, more than ever, it's really important to follow a recipe. And now the final batch ready to go in. All right, so this is the one that has double the xanthan gum. What do you think about the texture of that one, Bella?
Well, it looks a bit like harder than the other ones.
Yes.
The other ones look a bit softer.
Very good. Well, xanthan gum, because it acts like gluten, it's kind of like activating the gluten too far, making it very gluey.
Yeah.
Okay, now Nick, you're going to pop this into the oven for us.
Fantastic.
And with the magic of television, here we have the newly baked batch. And I'm going to put it the way that we put them in. And I want to talk to you
Alice,
about the
the
different
oven's
colours. Oh, well, lucky that we've got these that we prepared earlier.
Oh, the magic of television. I forget. It's my first day. I'm really nervous.
Okay, so here we've got this lovely batch of different types of cookies. Let's talk about them. That's the original recipe with the plain flour. What do we think about that?
It looks normal.
It looks normal.
blue.
The blue. So this one, we've got the gluten inside, and the gluten has activated together and it's bonded. So regardless of how much the butter has melted, it's held its shape. Now this one is plain old gluten-free flour. What do you think's happened there?
I don't think that looks correct.
It doesn't look quite correct. So as you can see, what's actually happened is that as the heat has hit the butter and the sugar and the gluten-free flour, there's been nothing inside to hold it in place, which is the job of the gluten. So that's why it's just dissipated and separated into this gloop. Right? Now this cookie here has the right batch of xanthan gum. What do you think about this versus that?
They look the same.
They look the same.
Except for
definitely.
that's just like...
One's green.
One's green, one's blue.
This one's a little doughier.
A little doughier, very true. So you're never going to get like the exact result, but it's definitely close. And you know, it's a chocolate chip cookie all the same. And now this one with the double batch of xanthan.
I don't think that even cooked.
Yeah, give it a feel. What does that feel like?
It feels like a rock.
Like a rock.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a double batch, it's
Bounce
bonded
around.
too much, and it's actually created more of a glue than a cookie. Looks like a rock cookie, which, you know, if you like your cookies rock hard, then that's a great option for you.
Oh.
So
Alice, you like bouncing it on the bench too? It's good.
So I guess that, as with all science experiments, we glean information from them. Bella, what have you taken from this?
Well, adding different things to it makes it completely different.
Very true, so know what you're adding. And what about you, Elise?
Just definitely don't use just gluten.
Yes, definitely don't use just gluten-free flour. Make sure that you add some sort of bonding agent like xanthan gum.
Absolutely.
Very good. And so remember that when you're baking cookies, sometimes it's nice to make 2 batches so everyone can enjoy them. Who wants a cookie?
I do.
We'll see you after the break. Ooh, cookie time.
This one.
Crunch time.